Good evening and welcome to No Spin. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra has just completed 2 months on the road, 62 days to be exact today. From Kanyakumari to Kashmir, the Yatra has already covered more than 1,500 kilometers in 4 states. From the south, they entered Maharashtra last night, where they'll spend 2 weeks crisscrossing the state. Maharashtra, of course, is politically significant, and here the Congress's alliance with the NCP and the Uddhav Shiv Sena will be on display. Both Aditya Thackeray and Sharad Pawar are expected to make an appearance in the next few days. Rahul Gandhi has been saying the Yatra is about uniting India, about bridging divides, but is it paying off politically? The Yatra was in Telangana, where the Congress just lost a crucial by-poll this week. It also coincides with polls in Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat, which are later this week in Himachal and next month in Gujarat. Now, there has been a lot of positive feedback about the messaging on the ground and Rahul Gandhi himself. But if the Congress doesn't do well in state elections, will that hurt the narrative around the Bharat Jodo Yatra? And is it actually addressing some of the larger problems that the Congress continues to face, such as factionalism in Rajasthan, for instance? Let's first listen, though, to what Rahul Gandhi said today.
60 दिन हो गए हैं। मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, ऐसा लग रहा है कि आज सुबह हमने शुरुआत की। अजीब सी बात है। 60 दिन से चल रहे हैं। अभी मैं भाषण दे रहा हूं, ऐसा लग रहा है कि 15 मिनट पहले मैंने शुरू किया। की आवाज सुनने आए हैं। मैं यहां लंबा भाषण नहीं देना चाहता। राजनेता आते हैं, 2 घंटे का भाषण करते हैं, कोई जरूरत नहीं है। हम यहां आए हैं, 7 घंटे चले, सुबह से शाम हम आपसे बात कर रहे हैं, किसानों से, युवाओं से। अभी विकलांग औरत मिली मुझे, उसके दिल में जो था उसने मुझे बताया, उसकी व्हीलचेयर को धकेला मैंने।
So what is the impact that this yatra is having on the ground politically? Lavanya Bilal, spokesperson of the Congress party, joining us today. Lalita Kumaramangalam, member of the BJP. We have Sanjay Jha, formerly with the Congress and now a commentator and analyst, joining us as well. And we'll have the rest of the panel shortly. But Lavanya Bilal, to you first. The question is, of course, that beyond the yatra itself, is it actually working for the Congress on the ground politically? The Telangana example is a very stark one, of course. But ultimately, you are a political party. How do you see, for instance, the Telangana loss and the fact that Himachal and Gujarat will also coincide with the Yatra very soon?
Well, good evening, Mary. We also had a couple of local body elections in Karnataka when the Yatra had crossed Karnataka, and we didn't do well in these local body elections as well. We have made it very clear from day one. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is not about winning elections. It is about uniting the nation, and electoral results are not what we are focusing on. Having said that, when people ask us, hey, the Yatra is moving through the state and you have not won the elections, our answer remains the same. We are not looking at winning the elections through Bharat Jodo Yatra, and that responsibility goes to the state leaders and the local leaders.
But as a political party, how can you say that you're not looking at winning elections? I mean, that's what your aim is supposed to be, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, as a political party, we should be aiming at winning the elections. But right now, the nation is in distress, and the nation needs a narrative which is different from the divisive politics that is being practiced in the last 8 odd years. So that is the agenda of Bharat Jodo Yatra. The agenda is very clear. This is for a united India. And this is not about winning elections. Winning elections is also an agenda of the Congress party, and there will be separate activities for that, which is state-bound, and it will depend on the state issues, and it is the duty of the state leaders to take it forward.
Well, Lalita Kumaramangalam, the Congress used to be criticized, and Rahul Gandhi in particular, for not doing enough, moving beyond Twitter handles and social media handles and being on the ground. And I think even you would agree that at least, he is there on the ground now. It's not a joke to be able to walk so much, with a Padyatra like this. But how are you looking at the impact that it's having? I know you'll be dismissive of it, but he is raising a lot of issues that do matter to people, whether it's about employment, jobs, etc.
Good evening, Nidhi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening. It's not for me to be dismissive. It looks like that the states where he's going, despite the fact that he's drawing large crowds, and yes, I agree. Physically, it must be pretty difficult for him to cover this sort of ground. I think about 1,500 kilometers. But it doesn't look as if politically they seem to have gained anything much. I have been saying this for a very long time, that the Congress needs to now really work hard at the grassroots. Elections are won in election booths. Padyatras are good. All yatras are good. I have nothing against any yatra. But this is a country of 1.34 billion people now, and we need a viable, sustainable opposition. I've said this many times, I get lampooned for it very often from all sides. I've had a lot of family in very, very senior positions in the Congress. I still have family in the Congress. It's not that I'm anti-anybody, not anti-anybody and all that. The fact is that this is a democracy. All political work, eventually, whatever we may agree on in public or not, eventually is about winning elections. If any party wants to oppose a government that is in power, it is their job to build their own party first. I'm not here to comment on Rahul Gandhi's, actions or experience, etc. That is for the Congress leaders to understand and do what they need to do.
Padyatras are a good thing, but it's about booth level management at the end of the day. Okay,
at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that is it.
So we also have an ally of the Congress, Clyde Crasto, a spokesperson of the NCP, is also joining us. And you're here, Clyde, because the Yatra is now in Maharashtra. And here, the Congress is in a very crucial alliance with the Uddhav Shiv Sena as well as the NCP, your party. Now, is this also in a sense a test case of unity of this alliance as well, which didn't do so well in recently held Panchayat polls? The BJP did better. But it's important for you all to stay together, especially ahead of the next assembly and general election, isn't it?
Well, there's absolutely no question mark on the unity, Nidhi. I don't know where this comes from, because we've been together like the Mahavikas Aghadi, and we've been doing pretty well. And even the results of the Panchayat elections and the Gram Panchayat elections, the MVA together has done very well. So the question lies here is that, BJP seems to be talking a lot about this Yatra. If they are so, kind of invincible that they claim to be, why are they worried about Rahul Gandhi walking across the country? They should be happy. He's walking across the country, connecting with people. They seem to say that, he was doing nothing. So if he's walking across the country, let him do what he's doing. He has all the right to do so. The fact of the matter is, BJP claims to have the support of 130 crore Indians. They say they have been voted by the maximum number of people in this country. So in fact, they should be going across the country and thanking and looking into the needs of the people who's voted for them. I don't see any BJP leader going on Padyatra or going and asking people what their problems are. So if he's going out in the people and meeting them, what's the harm in that? So the fact is, there is absolute unity in Maharashtra between the NCP, Congress and the Shiv Sena. We are doing well together, and you will see even our leaders like Mrs. Supriya Sule, Mr. Jayant Patil, they will be joining Rahul Gandhi on the 10th in the Maharashtra leg of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So the thing is, it's easy to talk, it's easy to say things, but look at what the man is doing. He's been on the road for the last 2 months, nearly 1,500 kilometers. He's been walking. Commendable job. Hats off to him. He's doing his job. People are, connecting with him. And, he's going across the country and he's going to reach, he said yesterday that, this will end only in Jammu Kashmir.
Well, I think to that extent, even Lalita Kumara Mangalam has agreed and said that it's not easy to undertake a Padyatra like this. And, certainly it has generated interest. And Sanjay Jha, to be fair, the media, the national media, at least the print media, hasn't given it the kind of space that it may have once upon a time. You kind of find it on the inside pages. But how do you look at how the Yatra has done so far? And do you think the real test will come when it goes to the North Indian states? I think even Jairam Ramesh acknowledged that it's going to be more challenging when they are heading into UP and Punjab and all.
Well, Nidhi, the fact of the matter is that India today is in a very dark place. And I think we need to call it out, without kind of pussyfooting around. Think about what the Supreme Court has said on hate speech on Mr. Modi's government. I mean, it's strong language. I mean, I've never heard the Supreme Court call out the government of the day for creating religious polarization, dividing society, fracturing the entire polity of India. So I think it's an extraordinary call. I think this entire Bharat Jodo Yatra, whether in the short term it delivers electorally for the Congress or not, perhaps no. But I think in the long term, it is going to result in a renewal of sorts. Obviously, it will not be enough. They will have to make the necessary organizational changes, invigorate the cadres, and get more savvy where elections are concerned. But I do believe that end of day, the Congress should not be diffident or sheepish in saying that the idea behind the entire Bharat Jodo Yatra is to raise public consciousness, because for a long time, even I felt, and I've been pretty much, even before I joined politics, had a lot of interest in it. I was wondering, why is India not protesting enough in the light of very brazen, misdemeanors of this government, whether it's price rise or inflation or lynching, murders, the entire sectarian hate culture that we have seen in our country. So I do wish the Congress good luck. But, I do feel that the Congress must recognize this now, that, politics is a week-to-week, development. You lose an election, it creates a dampener. People like
that's what I'm coming to, that with
exactly.
Himachal and Gujarat coming up. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in those elections, but, we don't hear much about the Congress campaign in either state. And I don't know if Rahul Gandhi is going to be campaigning finally in Gujarat or not. So the point is that if they don't do well in these two states, Sanjay, then doesn't the narrative then go out that, okay, Bharat Jodo didn't work? Because it's all nice and lovely to say you want to unite the country. That's great. But elections do matter, don't they?
Absolutely. And I believe in politics, you got to multitask. I mean, you got to fight an election, you got to raise funds, you got to, make sure your people are not leaving you, you got to do the Bharat Jodo Yatra, you got to make great speeches. I won't take names, but I feel that Rahul should, and it's not too late even in the day.
Names. No, why are you being shy?
Well, you will guess who I'm talking about. But I do believe that there should be greater interaction with media. He should make more speeches. There should be sound bites. End of day, Rahul is remembered even today for Soot Boot Ki Sarkar, for Fair and Lovely. This is a country that is now snacking on news and information. I don't think the Congress is leveraging the platform as much as they can. And to build a narrative, the Yatra appears to be a very great project. But, there are people who want to hear a lot more of taking on this government. You got to inspire people. I do believe that Mr. Modi's government is not half as popular as it is made out to be. But people are desperate for an alternative.
Okay, Clyde wants to come in, and then I'll go to Rashid Kidwai. Yes, Clyde, go ahead.
I just want to say something, Nidhi. I mean, we spoke about how the media is not highlighting or covering this whole Bharat Jodo Yatra. And, Sanjay Jha also just mentioned it. I just have one thing to say to the media. I mean, make it an open playing field. Bring it out. Let the world know what he is doing, and let the world know what BJP is doing, and let the people of India compare what is going on. And if he is walking across the country and saying that, is to unite the country, fair enough. But at the same time, at some point or the other, we will all know that, whether it's going to convert into votes or not. And during elections, I mean, they may have their own plans, what is going on, but this is definitely going to make a difference. I mean, you have a man who's walking across the country and people are joining him. And these visuals that you see, whatever social media or traction that he's getting, I'm sure that the people at some point are going to come out and start voting for the person who's actually interacted with them.
I see Rashid Kidwai shaking his head. Rashid Kidwai, you don't agree with that? Do you see this translating into votes? And does it matter if it does or doesn't, in your view?
The job of a political party is to win elections.
Exactly.
How do you quantify a yatra? There may be very lofty principles maybe behind it, but how do you quantify it? Ultimately, people are going to decide. You look at, see the Notebandi thing that we are talking about, demonetization. The fact that the BJP won in Uttar Pradesh in 2017 with a kind of a great mandate, it was seen as a kind of endorsement of demonetization. We can go on debating the demerits of demonetization, but fact of the matter is there is a mandate theory that is at work everywhere, and all political parties benefit or suffer from it. So what I'm saying is Rahul Gandhi's yatra may be very high on optics, but it's very low on substance. How do you quantify it? And that is the biggest challenge of Rahul Gandhi.
But Rashid Kidwai, the fact also is that people like yourself, others who have been political watchers in this country for a long time, were critical of the same Rahul Gandhi and the same Congress for not getting up off their behinds and actually going and meeting people. And he's doing that now, right? He's actually doing what critics said he wasn't doing for the longest time. Is there no credit to be taken for that?
Yes, so Nidhi, yes, he is, his fitness level, his kind of determination, application. You can give a lot of, marks to Rahul Gandhi, all those kind of canard that was spread about Rahul Gandhi. It's all he's been able to dispel it. But end of the day, in 2024, whether Congress gets, near about 100 Lok Sabha seats or more, is going to be that's going to be the litmus test. If the Congress has just about, 50, 60, 70 odd seats in the Lok Sabha, obviously this yatra would be of no consequence. I think Rahul Gandhi is very consciously trying to disengage himself from electoral politics till 2024. There is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. He wants accountability of political victory or defeat for that matter on his doorstep, because he has suffered a lot from 2024 onwards, 2014 onwards. All the assembly elections were put on Rahul Gandhi. So if Congress lost 39 out of that 51 elections, Rahul Gandhi was to be blamed. So I think he wants to change that.
I think that's interesting. You're saying that he's consciously distancing himself from electoral politics. Lalita Kumaramanglam, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would echo some of what Mr. Kidwai has said. But the fact is not just that, how hard Rahul Gandhi may be now physically and otherwise working. The fact also is that having met a lot of people, you need to meet your grassroots workers. I don't know if he has or hasn't. I'm not in the Congress, so I can't make a personal comment about that. But I really don't see much of that happening. When the BJP, when Advaniji's yatra, etc. took place, yes, there were always BJP workers with him. But at every stop, he made sure they had a meeting with the local district karyakartas, the office bearers, the booth people, had a meal with them. I mean, all of that. I'm sure Rahul is having meals and stuff. I'm not getting into that sort of thing. But the fact is that the Congress party today is considered almost moribund. They've gone from 404 seats. Come on. That was a mind-blowing mandate they had. They've come down to something like 52 now. 44 in 2014, 52 in 2019. What is the point of spending a lot of money on these yatras, etc., without it translating into political gains for them? That's what every party wants to do, whatever they may claim, whatever may be the
I agree. You're in it to win elections.
That is what that is not what seems to be happening. Now, I'm not finding fault with Mr. Gandhi at all. I'm finding fault with the rest of their party. Do you know how hard we used to work? I mean, really slog. That is what is not happening, and that is the fault of the Congress leadership collectively. Look at their recent elections. They have chosen a man who's over 80. What is that the public sees in that gentleman? I'm not talking about his character, personal, all of that. What do you see? You see a man who is not as active, certainly not as active as Rahul Gandhi is, who's leading a party that desperately needs to up its ante in the whole country. Not just the south, north, east, west. Just don't look at it as one country.
Lavanya wants to come in on.
Underestimating the voters. The constant message that's going out is that the voters are all wrong. Nobody likes to be told they're wrong. Huh?
Lavanya, go ahead.
Nidhi, I would like to remind everyone that Mr. Kharge is a very senior leader who has been elected and not selected for his role. And it is his responsibility to be leading the elections in different states, that is Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. He will be leading the elections, and he will be taking accountability of elections that we lose or win and everything. And also the most important thing, when people talk about Mr. Kharge, they seem to ask us, they're constantly asking us, questioning us about his age factor, right? There are a lot of senior leaders in BJP as well. The most important thing here is Mr. Kharge brings a huge amount of experience to the table, and he also is an elected president of the party. He is not a selected president. That is the major difference. Why aren't they talking about Mr. JP Nadda, who has been placed there for the second time? What were his qualifications there? Why aren't they talking about it? Why should BJP constantly ask us, why is Mr. Kharge there? Mr. Kharge is there because he is very capable, and all the leaders and the karyakartas, where the Congress delegates, have decided that he's the right leading the party.
But, there's another problem here. Sanjay Jha, come in on this first, which is that the Congress is still grappling with major factional feuds. All right, you know, we already know what happened in Punjab and Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan is now simmering again. Sachin Pilot has fired shots at Ashok Gehlot verbally only a few days ago. And we know that things aren't great in Chhattisgarh either. We were told that the chief ministership, the leadership issue in Rajasthan would be sorted out in 1 or 2 days. I'm quoting the General Secretary on this. It has been 1.5 months. So those festering problems still remain despite the yatra.
Absolutely, Nidhi. I mean, the gridlock in Rajasthan is going to boil over sooner rather than later. Sachin has got a legitimate claim to what he believes was denied to him 4 years ago. And the Congress is facing anti-incumbency in Rajasthan. And, you know, this strategy of the Congress in the past to procrastinate and let things drift and hope for some kind of epiphany to sort it out, that's not the way it happens in politics. You're absolutely right. And, you know, why I believe the question that you have raised is so pertinent, because today India finds itself in a very peculiar circumstance. You have an authoritarian government and you have religious polarization at the same time. It's a double whammy. This is serious trouble for India. And therefore, I think the Congress needs to recognize this. And I feel, having been in the Congress, I can tell you, Nidhi, the biggest problem of Rahul as a leader was the inability to inspire the cadres or motivate them into, you know, going in for the long, hard battle. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is helping to some extent, but I would love it if he says, guys, we're going to try and win 2024. Now, you know, everybody will say that's a mathematical impossibility at the moment, etc. But this is politics. Things change. I mean, you know, you need to make people believe it is possible. So if Rahul can inspire people, if Rahul can make his speeches a lot more about, you know, making the people believe that the Congress is not just an alternative, but it is waiting in the wings to defeat the BJP, that is where the difference will come. I do feel that
but
people are unhappy.
I think, as Rashid Kidwai said, he's actually probably consciously keeping a distance from doing exactly that, because he doesn't want it to fall on him.
I don't think that's a politically smart move.
But so, Rashid Kidwai,
that's a politically smart
on
move.
this factionalism issue, this could really cost the party, and also the fact that if they don't do well in Himachal and Gujarat now, would that cast a shadow on the yatra, which would still have some weeks left?
Absolutely, Nidhi, and factionalism is also, you see, political authority comes from electoral success. So both these things are complementary. Unless the Congress starts doing well, as long as it, you know, it conducts itself or calls itself as a political party, it will have a very difficult battle. You look at what happened in 2014. Look at the Congress vote percentage, 19%. If you look at, you know, 2019, again it fell to like 18-19%. The BJP vote percentage from 31% went to 38%. Unless the Congress has 4-5%, and mind you, at all India level, 4-5% increase in vote share looks quite very, very, you know, kind of a daunting task. Unless the Congress achieves that and comes close to 26%, 27%, 28% of vote percentage, then only it can be a challenger. Otherwise, yatra or no yatra, it's like a total nosedive.
Lavanya, yes, go ahead. I just have time for last comments from you and Clyde. Lavanya Bilal first,
I would like to remind Mr. Jal, look at the number of people walking with Mr. RG right now, with Mr. Gandhi. And I think it is a clear indication of how much the cadre has confidence in Mr. Gandhi. Yes, the party has a lot of issues that needs to be resolved and addressed, but I would like to make it very clear, the party's cadre is with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. The nation is with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. We have seen multiple non-political people walking in the yatra because they believe in the cause of the yatra. And winning elections is responsible of the party president, and Mr. Kargil is a very capable party president.
I think what Sanjay said about the party cadre perhaps being enthused by the yatra at the moment is correct to some extent, but there are obviously deeper issues that the party still has to confront. Clyde, you get the last word. We have just under a minute.
I just want to tell you one thing, Nidhi. I know it's easy to talk about the Congress, you know, factionalism or unrest within the Congress. But there is a lot of factionalism and unrest in the BJP also. I'll give you a simple example in Maharashtra. I mean, you know, it has been told, and, you know, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis went on record to say that, you know, you're sort of a mastermind behind this whole coup that happened in Maharashtra. That what happened? They cut him to size. They made Mr. Eknath Shinde the chief minister. At the same time, you have people from the Eknath Shinde faction making crass and shameless, you know, statements. Like recently, Mr. Chandrakant Patil and now Abdul Sattar said things about Mrs. Supriya Sule. I mean, I don't see BJP, condemning or saying anything. They are happy because, they want to make sure that they are, Eknath Shinde group also is cut to size. So factionalism, groupism is going on there. We should focus about that also and talk about that.
Well, they're not losing elections. Unfortunately for you, they're not losing elections. They're still winning, right?
I mean, look at the Gram Panchayat election and Panchayat election, and
the Congress has much more to lose at the moment, and that's why it needs to get its act together. But let's wait and watch. Let's wait and watch, ma'am. I'm completely out of time. I'm completely out of time today. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on 2 months of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Will it pay off politically? Watch this space tonight.